All right, so his father was black and captured in Africa, so don't get it twisted. His father was brought to the colonies and sold as a slave. Now, Nancy Crispus, which was Crispus' mother, Nancy Adams was Crispus' mother. She was a member of the Natick Indian tribe. The mother was a member of the Indian tribe. Crispus also had an older sister, Phoebe, and they served a master named Colonel Buckminster. So don't try to sideways shit, man. You know what I mean? Definitely check out the book, but you know it's sprinkled out. You know what I mean? He also has some interviews online on YouTube. Michael Hoffman, dealing with the white slavery, kind of type that up and stuff and see what videos come up. He gives you some good information, but you'll also see for yourself when you get in some of them white arenas. You got that little you know what I mean? But it's a good book. Cop the book. Now, the other good book is The White Cargo. I like it. It's gives you a good overall view of white slavery and stuff. Again, white people are just coming up on this information themselves. It's like an awakening. And white people actually, they starting to get a little angry that they starting to realize that they was being robbed of their own history. You know what I mean? So anyways, The White Cargo book, it's a study of white slavery, and a nice chunk of it is dealing with the slavery in Barbados in the 1600s. Now, in the 1600s, again, white people were used, I'm talking whipped in the back, hung, whole nine, work in the fields, all of that stuff. I'm talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of them being brought from England over there to work that, right? So there was a big shift going on in Barbados in the 1600s because they feared a mass rebellion by the Irish and the Moors. So that led to the exclusive labor, the slave work being done by the Moors over in Barbados, working the fields, etc. And by the mid 1600s, the white slaves' roles were diminished from active slaving to the role of overseers to the Moors. Again, this is during the 1600s. Now, the African labor they came to the conclusion that the African labor cost less and was less troublesome because the Irish was always rebelling. Now, the Irish people, they was always uprising, and it became more hassle than what it was worth, so they just replaced it full time with the Moors. So again, the population shifted heavily in the census during that time. I think it was like 1846. The census showed 2,000 whites and 46,000 blacks, and by the time slavery was abolished, it was 15,000 whites and 88,000 blacks. So that was a big shift as far as the way that the work was being done. Now, if you go to Barbados, up to this day, you go to Barbados, and you have Irish people in Barbados that's known as redlegs. It's because of the extreme blistering on their legs doing the slave labor, and the redlegs is where you get the derivative of the word redneck. Again, working out there in the fields and stuff, but because of the blistering on their legs, that's where they got that term redlegs from. And in fact, redleg to a conscious white person is the equivalent of being called a nigger. So it's highly offensive. And again, it's a throwback and a constant reminder of when white people were slaves. They tried to clean it up, which is why it's kind of tied into Moorish history, is because simultaneously as white people were being denied the history of white slavery for over 100 years in America, they were also simultaneously conditioning black people and robbing them of their history as well, of what you would recognize as being a Moor, a black Moor here in America, throughout the Caribbean. They were shifting that information, burning books, hiding information, giving it to their secret societies, all simultaneously. So white people were in the dark, black people were in the dark. The people who were knowledgeable were the ruling class. again, black people and white people as a whole, they're at odds with each other because of the same information or misinformation put out by the ruling class. Take it how you want to take it. White people think that they're free. You're not. Black people think that y'all, are owed reparations. You are, but you're not gonna get it because the ruling class know your history and they realize that it's not gonna happen. So, but I support it. We are owed reparations, but it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna fight for it, but again, the people who know, they ain't trying to come off of that. And it doesn't even have to be money. It should be a proper education. We should be getting some free education up in here to make the society better as well as the people. And we need land. Another wave of white slavery that took place during the era of Thomas Jefferson with the Moors and Berbers. Again, back to the Moors. But these are the tawny Moors. And I'm getting sick and tired of these Moors that are running around trying to be something that you're not. These were tawny Moors, meaning mulattoes, half original Moors that were doing all of this, taking American white people prisoners. Again, a history that's not even talked about. And there's a good book that's on that I have, again, in my library called The Pirate Coast. Again, this book right here is a good one because it gives you the information dealing with Thomas Jefferson and the first Marines and the secret mission of 1805. So again, this is a good one. Also, another good book that I have in my library is The Victory in Tripoli. That's another good book about it that deals with it as well. This is when, also during this time, this is when the Moors sold out. The Moroccan Empire sold out the Moors here in America. If you study the treaties, if you study what was going on, the Moors over there sold out their brothers and sisters that were over here, and it put us in a form of almost perpetual slavery that we just started to get out of that cycle with the coming of Noble Drew Ali, teaching us our history as Moors. But it was common knowledge that we were known as Moors back then. So I hope that kind of gave you an overview of the of white slavery, kind of how to tie it into our identity as black people. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to hit me up. I'll be happy to explain to you or shoot you some emails about it. I'll be happy to share it with you. And I'll leave you as I greeted you in peace.